the replay. Again, my name is Teresa Horn, and we are talking about transformation. And here we're going to talk about, first, I want to talk about what it's like to go through a transformation and share a little background about me. So, if you have been watching for a while, you already know this story. But if you're new here, I want to make sure that I get a chance to share my transformation with you, my personal transformation. In the health and fitness industry, you see a lot of before and after pictures. And one of the things that, at least at this point in my business, God is really specific with me about what transformation pictures to show, like what before and after pictures that I should be showing in my content, in the work that I do. And it's very limited. So I don't do a lot of before and after pictures to show. I have a few that God is like has me show, specifically my own before and after pictures. I'm sometimes led to show. And then there was a retreat that I did where God was very specific, and had us do before pictures and then had us do after pictures. Hello. Hey, Lindsay. So at that retreat, we did before pictures and we did after pictures. And we're talking about a course of 3 days. So the ladies, we did before pictures when they arrived, and we did after pictures the day that they were going to leave. And that's not a long time to do a transformation. But in that, God was specifically making a point to me that He was going to do that work that weekend. And the transformation that we saw was about the work that He is doing and that He was going to do. So there was no doubt about that transformation, of where that transformation came from. That in the transformation, in the before and after pictures with that, we could give God all the glory for that, because that was clearly nothing that any of us did. There's no physical transformation that I can do for you in 3 days. There's no physical transformation that you can do for yourself, other than putting on makeup and changing your clothes, that you can do for yourself over the course of 3 days. That whatever transformation that we saw was completely contributed to God. We were able to clearly, specifically, with no doubt about it, give God the glory for the transformation that came forth. And that is really what I want to do always with the transformations that happen, with the transformations that happen either as a result of working with me, or the seeds that are planted and the transformation then happens later. So when we talk about transformation, Jesus transforms. Jesus transforms, because we want a transformation that's not just about the outward person, what we see on the outside. We want a transformation that permeates our spirit, soul, and body. A transformation that it permeates who we are, our whole self. Our whole self, that means our body, our soul, and our spirit, because we are created whole. So when we are looking for a healthy transformation, when we are looking to become healthy, we want a transformation that also is whole. We want a transformation that is also spirit, soul, and body. And Jesus is the only one who can do that. So let's go back to the health and fitness industry. When I first started coaching, one of the things that you learn in this business is you learn who to target to help your bottom line. And if you can believe it, the kinds of people that they have you target in the beginning, if you're trying to build your business, build your clientele, are people who are about to get married, about to go on vacation, people who have 20 pounds to lose. But really, the wedding and vacation crowd or summer beach body, that crowd is really who they have you go after. And I wonder if you can guess why. So there are big 3 reasons that you would want to go after those people are, one, they're highly motivated. They have a high level of motivation. If you are getting married, if you're going on vacation, if you um, have a class reunion coming up, you are generally highly motivated to see change in those events, especially marriage, like a wedding. You know, if you're getting married in, I don't know, 6 months, you're highly motivated. So that's number one. You are highly motivated. That motivation does not have to come from the trainer. That motivation is intrinsic in the fact that you have this date coming up. So that's number one, why they have you go. They tell you to go after people with that built in. Number two is there's a timeline. There's a built-in timeline. You know, if you're getting married in 6 months, if you're going on vacation in 4 months, if you know, there's a built-in timeline. So you as a person, you know, I have this much time to achieve this goal, also highly motivating. And the trainer also knows you have this much time. So it's easy to train for that. Like, it's easy to build out a program because you know, I have 6 months. We can do this. We can do this. I can build this out. It's built in, right? It's built in. So that's number two. Number three is it's a one-time event. Well, hopefully, right? So it's a one-time event. Getting married, going on this big vacation to Hawaii. These are usually one-time events, or at least we think about them as one-time events. So for the psychological point of that is, if you're doing something, you know, it's in a certain amount of time, it's only going to happen once, it's a one-time event, you're willing to spend more. You're willing to spend more on that. So if you know it's a one-time event, you know I've got a certain amount of time, I've got a deadline for the time, you know this time frame, you are kind of setting yourself up in this perfect storm of pressure to perform to get an end result for this event. So that's why when you're starting out your health and fitness business, they will tell you go after these people, because you have all these things that are going to help built in. So, hey, hello, Jada. Thanks for joining us. So we're talking about transformation. So they tell you go after these people, and then they tell you take pictures before and then take pictures after, because as human beings, we are like all about looking at outcomes. We want to see what looks good. We are very visual. We want, like, oh, they look like this and they look like that, and that's what I want, right? So that is what they do. Now, when they were talking about this, when I was learning about this, I was like, it really made me sad, because what I know to be true is the biggest transformations don't happen on the outside. Like, you can do a lot of work to your outside appearance and still be unhealthy on the inside. You can do a lot of work to the outside and be unhealthy on the inside. You can starve yourself and have an outward appearance that looks good and still be dying on the inside. So that made me really sad that we were being told to coach or to target a certain demographic because it would give us good outcomes for our business. So what we know is, what I know to be true is that it's harder to change those things that go beyond the surface. Like the things that are causing us to be unhealthy, that are not just on the outside, are more difficult to change. It's more likely that they're not going to be 3 months, 6 months. When you have things that you need to change to be healthy that are beyond the surface level, it generally is not going to be a 6-month thing. And even if it is, the change that happens is going to be something that you want to walk out for the rest of your life. It's probably going to take longer. It's not going to have a set ending date. Like, we can't talk about, I want to be healthy and it's going to happen in 3 months. Like, we don't know how that's going to take. You could get breakthrough and it could take 3 weeks. There's no time frame. We can't plan it. I can't go to August and count back and modulate and track and gradually increase or decrease from there, right? The work has to be done by you. It is done with you when you are talking to God, when we're praying about breakthrough, when you are building new habits, when you're having breakthrough in certain areas. That doesn't have a date that you can count back from. That happens when you do the work, when you build the discipline, when you consistently journal, do the soul work, when you spend time with God, you have an active prayer life. Those things we can't count in days until they have happened. And then you can say, oh, this was my process. But I can't say in 6 months you'll have this. So that is the transformation that happens. It's going to take time. We don't know how much time. It could take 6 months. It could take 6 days. It could take 6 hours. I just went to a retreat that was, how many days were I there? Like 5 days. And there was, I would say, oodles. There was so much transformation that happened on that retreat, but we can't say if I go to this retreat. I've also gone to retreats that were nice, but there was no transformation. God controls that. God is in charge of the transformation. God transforms. It's up to you to be open to the work that God is doing. And that's really what a coach is going to help you do. Your coach is going to help you ask God the questions, lead you on the journey to have transformation, and then help you put the habits in place that are going to maintain that transformation. Jesus transforms, but we have to be consistent and diligent doing the things that maintain our transformation. So we are made healthy and whole, and then we live in this world that's not healthy nor whole, it's broken, and we have experiences that can damage our soul, that can hurt our feelings, that can wound our emotions. So we have to learn tools to maintain being whole. I was thinking about, so I saw a post today about genetics. It was specifically about diabetes, and this is a popular post to see in health and fitness, and it's like it has percentages on it that I don't remember, but it says something like genetics load the gun, but diet pulls the trigger. I believe that's it. Genetics load the gun, speaking specifically about diabetes. Genetics load the gun, and diabetes pulls the trigger. And really what the whole thing is saying is, that you can be genetically, have a genetic predisposition, I think that's right, to diabetes, be genetically have a greater possibility genetically to get diabetes. But the way that you eat is going to ignite or going to give the correct environment for that to manifest, right? And which is kind of true, right? I can see how that is. Or if you think about this is even a better example. Another thing is if you come from a family of alcoholics and you've seen that in your family, and as you grow up, you think, I'm never going to do that. I'm never going to do that. And then you end up in that situation. Because what happens is eating is a comfort measure. It's a way to handle stress. It's a way to handle emotions. It's a coping mechanism. Drinking alcohol is a way to handle stress. It's a way to comfort. It's a coping mechanism. So if you grew up in an environment where the primary or a primary coping mechanism that you see is overeating, or the primary coping mechanism that you see is drinking alcohol. When you grow up, if you don't have any other coping mechanism when life happens, and it will happen, life happens to all of us, and you haven't learned any other coping mechanism, the only thing you know is what you learned. And if the only thing you learned is to overeat junk food, if the only thing you learned is to drink too much alcohol, then that is what you are going to do. That's what you're going to do. So, if you know that, you need to learn a different way to handle stress. You need to learn a different coping mechanism. You need to learn how to handle stress, handle emotions, handle discomfort in a healthy way. Now, there's lots of things that have to be lifted. There are lots of wounds that will have to be healed. There are lots of wiring that will have to be shifted and reconnected and dismantled. Those things are all layers. They happen in our spirit, they happen in our soul, they happen in our physical body. We were created by our Creator. God is the only one who knows how you are wired. He's the only one that knows what needs to be shifted, what needs to be adjusted. If we want a transformation that permeates our spirit, our soul, and our body, then we want our Creator, who created our spirit, our soul, and our body, to be a part of that transformation. We want God to be a part of our transformation because He knows how we were originally formed. So, transformation, the act of change in condition, nature, or character. I don't know about you, but I don't want anybody else changing my condition, my nature, or my character. You know, the GE washing machine. You don't take that to I don't know. You don't take it to Apple computer store to be fixed. You take it to the Creator. You take the manual out and you take it to the Creator to be transformed back to its original state. So if we want transformation, we don't want to take it to somebody who thinks they know what they're doing. We want to take it to the Creator. So when we are talking about, yes, when you come to me, you might be thinking, I want to lose 20 pounds. That's great. But what does healthy really look like to you? And usually there's more. Usually it's more than just 20 pounds. Usually there's more behind that. And quite frankly, if it's only 20 pounds and the only thing is the weight, then I'm probably not the coach for you. And I'm okay with that. Like, find another coach, because that's not really what I'm called to do. I'm called to help you, support you as you become healthy and whole, so you can do what you need to advance the kingdom of God. That's why I'm here. So when you come to me, we're going to look at what is healthy look like for you. What's your kingdom assignment? How are you called to advance the kingdom? What do you need to be healthy so you can do that in health and wholeness? That's the transformation that we're after. So, healthy transformation is more than just a before and after picture. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be talking about this. I'm so excited to be a resource in this area. And if you are a coach, if you're like working in the health and fitness industry and you see this, like you know this story, you know that they tell you at the beginning to go after people who are want to get married. You know that because it's a thing. So if you're a coach and you're working in the health and fitness industry and you see that you are loving working with people who have more weight to lose, who have some really unhealthy habits that need to change, and you want to work with them and you want to help them be have change, but it seems like it's more than just doing the workouts. It seems like it's more than just picking healthy meals. You know that there's something else happening, and you want a way to help your clients understand that healthy and whole is not just about a workout or a diet plan. Then you want to keep following along, because in the month of March, I'm going to be launching a certification for health coaches who are kingdom driven. If you want to advance the kingdom of God and you are in the health and fitness industry and you know that that's your area, you know you're a resource in this area, then you want to make sure that you're following along, because in March, we're going to launch a certification that's going to teach you how to do just that. And it's not only for people in the health and fitness industry who have a certification or a specialty. It could be that you have your own personal story of transformation. Maybe you've lost weight. God shows you how to lose weight and you did that with him, and you want to support other people as they do the same thing. Then this certification could be for you. This is really about teaching you a process of, with your clients, going to God to see what God's health plan is for them, and then coming up with a plan together and holding them accountable to that plan so they can walk in the transformation, the healthy transformation that God wants to see for their lives. So if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments. You can send me a message. That's going to be launching in March. You're going to be hearing much more about that. Yes, the certification, Jada. Yes, we just dropped that information. So that is all. I hear my dog upstairs. He's like, time for my attention. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Thank you for joining me. We'll be back here next Monday for another live. And Wednesday, our exercise class for the week is going to drop. So if you have specific exercise goals, movement fitness goals that you're interested in, let me know in the comments too about that, and I will plan something for you. This Wednesday is going to be 30 minutes of low impact cardiovascular exercise. So that's going to be super fun. All right. Again, my name is Teresa Horn Coaching. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next week.